the shop again as usual. Finally got the 5.7 Hemi that I pulled out of that 300 tore down. Started from the top, intake manifold, head, so on and so forth, inspecting everything as we're doing it, and nothing seemed super suspect. Fast forward to pulling the bottom apart, oil pan, sump, so on and so forth, and that was when we noticed it. The crankshaft spun a bearing, no bueno. We want to show you guys here what we're looking at.
Yeah, we're gonna switch over to GoPro here. So if we take a peek, you can see that rod journal is pretty banged up. Really, anything you can feel with your fingernail, and I mean, heck, you could probably hear it if I shut up. You can hear that nail running over that. That's all bad. That should be very, very smooth and no lines in it at all. And then Nick, what did you notice the first thing when you took this guy apart?
So, got the gasket off, everything. Obviously, these two pistons were much darker than any other ones. What does that tell us? That at some point, those received an excessive amount of heat. And we all know when that happens, nothing good comes out of it. These were the bearings themselves. This was the really bad one, and this was the not so bad one.
Yeah, that's the mate for that same journal, and even it's really torn up. And really, if we go to tear this all apart, there's a really good there's basically, I guarantee every bearing looks at least like that or worse, just because as these things come apart, the metal just goes over everywhere in the motor and contaminates all your bearing surfaces.
Yeah, so that's a big no bueno there.
Yeah. So we're going to switch back over to our other camera here.
So you guys got a close-up view of what we're looking at. So now we go back to the Dirty Deeds Duster project car, done dirt cheap.
What the hell was that?
Spooky stuff, man, I'm telling you.
It's been everywhere today.
It's that time of year.
Whatever.
Anyway, not going to be done so dirt cheap at this point. We are aware on our options. Let's go over those options now.
Yeah.
First option.
First option, the dirt cheap option. The cheapest route you're going to get out of this, I think, is getting this crankshaft, if it's able to be ground, get the crank turned, and we put undersized bearings in it. I mean, no matter what, entire engine has to come apart. At that point, cam bearings, rods, mains, everything's replaced. Grind the crank, reassemble, and get all of the rods checked and resized. Probably more than likely for these two. I do a balance job while it was out. Option two is everything I just just said, but you got an opportunity here to make more cubic inches, which translates into power. So I think you can go up to 410 inches in one of these 5.7s in a stroker kit. So replace the whole rotating assembly, throw in some new pistons, rods, crankshaft, and obviously the camshaft you were going to do to delete that MDS system, and slap them back together. I would estimate on an NA deal, naturally aspirated, I don't see why we couldn't get 1.5 horse at this elevation per cubic inch. So if we're talking 400 inches, I mean that's 600 horse, and I don't see why that wouldn't be obtainable. And it's
The damn barn cats, man.
Is that a barn cat?
Could be.
Well, we need to get rid of those things.
Well, someday.
Yeah. But anyway, if we can make this motor make 600 horse, that's that's a far cry better than the 345 it came out with factory. So
Okay, so we're canceling out the done dirt cheap at this point, in my eyes. I could go the cheap route, get it running as soon as possible and throw it in the car, but ultimately I'm not gonna be happy with that.
well, really, I think we just added. In the grand scheme of things, the Duster's still going to be done dirt cheap because
Do you think we'll be able to reach under 10K if I?
no, but I do think 15's reachable, and in the grand scheme of things, a $15,000 resto mod muscle car with modern power plant making 600 horse, that's pretty cheap.
Maybe we're not too far off, folks, just off our initial thoughts, I suppose. That being said, it's gonna add a good bit of time and some saving up on my part. That's one thing we try to continue to emphasize. Nothing has to happen right away, and it darn sure isn't here.
And it's more important you guys get out in your garage, just like we do. Work on your projects.
Crank some tunes, have a good time.
Yeah, and honestly, network within your own little area. There's tons of guys in your area, I guarantee it, that are into this stuff. And
who knows?
it's
A good
great
portion
time.
of the parts that I may need or want, I can buy cheaper elsewhere. I don't have to buy brand new.
Yeah.
Some guy might have a set of pistons laying in his shop or something that he's never going to use and give me a ripping deal on or something. You never know.
I mean, I guess option 3, I hadn't thought about this. I mean, I know you're stuck on wanting modern power, just for all those conveniences, but I mean, you could stick a 440 in this car out of a motorhome for $1,000.
We might toss that around too, but in the meantime, we do have a good set of bones as far as we could tell.
Yeah.
Everything else is up in the air at the moment, and this is all part of learning. This is my first project, and I think it's either way, it's going to turn out what I need it to be, no matter what I have to do. So, and it's awesome to have Dusty and everybody else around helping me. Yeah, that's about all I got.
Sweet.
Is
Well,
there anything else in there?
I'm sorry to hear the bad news on this, and I think we'll get our patch back together here shortly. So we should
Yes,
be in great shape.
Okay, guys, keep the pedals loud and the Liberty strong. As Dusty always says, remember to hit that subscribe and like button and tell your friends, and we'll keep feeding you guys stuff as we come along and keep the ball rolling.
Perfect.
Cool.
See you guys later.